May I remind you that trading is risky and not suitable for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Welcome to QuantBox Daily. Today is Thursday, November 10th. How are you, my friends? All right, let's have a look and see. So euro dollar, taking a look at QuantBox dashboard, euro dollar, we still have a neutral bias. In terms of news coming out of the Eurozone today, some inflation data. We've got a speech out of the States later. We've got some more low and medium tier news out of Europe. Some more low tier news out of Europe. Some more inflation data out of Europe. And then today's the big day for inflation data out of the United States. So pay attention very carefully to that. Okay, CPI, you know that the Fed have spoken about CPI and inflation rate year on year. So important to keep an eye on that. Some more high tier news coming out of the States, some more inflation data. And some more speeches. So today's the day we've been waiting for this entire week. So keep an eye on that data. All right, so in terms of euro dollar, as you can see, currently neutral. Although lots and lots of red. I remain bullish on the dollar because of interest rates. Looking at the pound dollar, also neutral fundamentally. USD CAD is a strong buy. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Aussie USD is neutral. Kiwi dollar is neutral. Aussie yen is neutral. CAD yen is neutral. Euro yen is neutral. Pound yen is a sell. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And then Kiwi yen is a buy. Okay, so neutral across the board, friends. So looking at charts technically, okay, you can see here price action is also neutral, currently moving sideways. We've come down yesterday, though I'm looking for a lower high. So I'm looking for a pullback selling opportunity, currently stuck in a range. And it seems to be the situation across the board. Taking a look at Euro USD, you can see we're up here at the 100 EMA on the daily. On the weekly, we had the 21 EMA. And on the H4, looking for that lower high roll reversal. Okay, price currently bouncing around over here. Okay. As you can see, we've got no structure of a trend at lower low, lower high. Even looking at the H1 time frame, you can see they're just stuck sideways, which is a pity because I was really hoping for a nice technical setup today as we head into CPI. Maybe we get something in this London session. We'll have to see. It's doubtful though. Just look at how prices set up over here. In order to get a lower low, lower high, price needs to come down, pull back up, roll reversal, and then for a sell. But not looking like that's the case at the moment. Pound dollar, you can see here, sideways on the daily, sideways on the H4. On Kiwi dollar, as you can see, price coming down off of the R1, no lower highs on the H4. So moving on to the USD CAD, see price coming up off the S1, no higher low on the H4. I'm looking for a higher low. Why? Well, if you didn't trade a higher low over here, you would have lost that trade. So I need an indication of trend somewhere, which I'm not getting. Moving into the Aussie yen pair, you can see right now still sideways on the daily. No lower high to be seen. It's the same with CAD yen. Okay, you can see there sideways. Euro yen also currently sideways. Okay. Pound yen illustrating a sell on fundamentals, but technically I'm not seeing it. Okay, I'm seeing sideways. So I'll leave that alone as well. And then Kiwi yen. Daily, we've got that just sideways, no lower high. So across the board, looking at the charts right now, heading into London, not getting those lower highs I'm looking for. And so therefore, as frustrating as that is, it's far more frustrating to trade and lose money. I'm not interested in losing money. I'm totally okay with being patient. I feel no pressure to trade. I really am waiting for opportunities that will yield positive results. And if I've got sideways moving markets, then I tend to wait for an opportunity to trade the trend when that trend forms. Now, of course, one thing we could do, one of the students asked yesterday, can we not just have a look at the Swiss franc pairs? And I initially said no, but I thought, well, let's have a gander. So Euro Swissy indicating a buy. We'll look at that in a moment. Pound Swissy indicating neutral. Aussie Swissy indicating neutral. Kiwi Swissy indicating a buy. And CAD Swissy indicating a buy. So let's take a look at the Swiss franc pairs. Jumping into Aussie Swissy, you can see there, going back to our fundamentals on Aussie Swissy, we're currently neutral on fundamentals and price is moving down, okay? If you were to trade this, you're looking for a lower high. Looking at the H4 time frame, currently at a profit-taking zone, and there was no lower high when price broke out of this, perhaps next week, but nothing to do right now. Again, if you've got neutrality on the fundamentals, what are you doing trading that currency pair? Euro Swissy coming through with a buy. Let's take a look at that. So way out of position for a buy, not interested in buying up here. Also looking at that, that's consolidating sideways. Okay. The lack of the higher high. This is sideways, currently contained inside a range. You can see there on the H4, look at that. Completely sideways. Pound Swissy coming through with neutral. So you got no fundamental bias. Looking at the chart, you can see they're currently sideways. Okay. Now, of course, if you measure this over here, price hasn't come down to support. We are sitting at this wick over here on the left-hand side. So not amazing. If price pulled back up here for a lower high, would have to make sure that price made a lower low. And looking at those wicks over there, I'm not 100% sure of that. So what's also important to recognize is that you're neutral on fundamentals. Then in terms of so let's take a look and see Aussies. We looked at Aussie, CAD Swissy. Okay. Also in a profit-taking zone. But looking at your fundamentals on CAD Swissy, right now you've got a buy. Okay, so you've got a buy on CAD Swissy and you're currently in a profit-taking zone. All right. So then what you'd need is you'd need a higher high, higher low. Okay, so you can line that up on the daily M15 time frame, higher high, higher low, you have permission to buy. Until then, sit on your hands. Then Kiwi Swissy, you also see a buy there. And currently Kiwi Swissy is heading down. Not currently at support in any fashion whatsoever. And not looking incredibly bullish at the moment. So technicals, fundamentals, not saying the same thing. That to me just means be patient, just wait for everything to be going in the same direction. And I think the only opportunity that you really could be looking at right now would be CAD Swissy at that profit-taking zone, waiting for a higher high, higher low. There was one other buy. There was a buy on CAD Swissy, a buy on Kiwi Swissy. Oz Swissy neutral, pound Swissy neutral, and then Euro Swissy was a buy as well. Taking a look again at Euro Swissy. I do not like the buy off of this 21 EMA because this is not a higher high. Okay. Bottom of the range. Nothing says I won't just range. Okay. However, if you insist on trading that, then what you're looking for is you're looking for a higher low on the M15 charts. But you want to be at support, first of all. You got the daily M2 down here. But you can see here how price has failed to break resistance. Look at how price keeps coming off resistance, left-hand side. Okay. So I'm not a massive fan of this being as bullish as one would think. Personally, I'm sitting on my hands. I'm focusing more on the dollar and yen pairs, and I really am just waiting for the specific data on the dollar inflation data. Really, again, was really hoping for price to be in position for a nice trade on that today. It isn't the case, and so when that happens, I realize that price is telling me that it's better to just sit back and wait. And I'd listen to the charts when they speak, because that's the only thing you've really got that tells you what's actually going on. And right now, I look at this euro dollar, and I'm not at all invited to take a trade on this. Doesn't look like anything. Just looks like candles on a screen. I'd like to see some structure. Okay, some lower lows and lower highs. Right now, just very much sideways across the board. So that means having to wait, having to be patient, and seeing what comes up of today and how this affects everyone's view on what's going to happen in December with the US dollar and the Fed. As frustrating as these moments are, I want you to remember that if you were trading with discipline and patience when the markets were dropping, you're making a ton of money. If you were not behaving with patience and discipline inside this market chain, you weren't making a ton of money. It's time to change your behavior now. This is where one should have been aggressive and active, and right now inside here, waiting for opportunities to do the same, but realizing when the market is not in that situation to do so. It's very important to be able to discern between a beautiful trading opportunity and when the market is data dependent. In one of these, you stand a chance to make a lot of money, and in the other, a chance to, at best, break even. Remember, consistency is the most important thing. Money is a byproduct of control and consistency. If you can, I'm not saying you can't trade this. If you can trade this, if you look at this chart, you know exactly what's going on and how to trade that, and you can do that consistently, good for you. That's your process. That's your business. If you can do that, then wonderful. Personally, I like to see lower lows and lower highs, or higher highs and higher lows, because those trades are trades I can let run for ages. They make significant profits, and I don't end up with a trade that bounces back and knocks me out if taken correctly. And capital preservation is the most important thing to me as a risk manager. But I leave it to you. All right, so let's have a look and see how today sets up as we head into CPI later, and let's see if we can shift those fundamentals from neutral to bullish or bearish. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, friends. Stay patient, stay disciplined, stay liquid. All the best. Cheers.